Welcome back to Sportsbook Review Videos. It is week 13 of the NFL, and it's hard to believe, but after this week, there will only be 4 weeks of the regular season remaining, so we have to ramp up our prop betting here from Bet365 once again this week in hopes of gaining some profit. And we'll start it off with some team prop picks. And the Baltimore Ravens come in this week as with a team total of 17.5 as they head down to Miami to play the Miami Dolphins. Now, whether or not likely to cooperate that much in Miami, it's been raining a lot. It might still be raining by the time the game kicks off at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. However, after going with 33 points last week against the Cleveland Browns, granted, one was a punt return, the other one, of course, that blocked field goal to win the game. I think the Dolphins' defense is bad enough to where Matt Schaub-led Ravens' offense, even though it is a little banged up, to get to above 17.5 points. Dolphins giving up 29 points per game in their last 6 games this season. I think the Ravens are a good bet to go over 17.5 points at minus 120. Now, next up is the Houston Texans, who have a similar point total this week of 17.5 as well. And Houston is also on the road this week in Buffalo, but the weather, ironically, looking better in Buffalo in December than it is at Miami in December. So go figure on that, but it's supposed to be 70 and partly cloudy up in Buffalo, and I think that's a perfect environment here with no wind for the Houston Texans potentially, who have been dominating on defense. You get a couple of extra chances on offense this week potentially, and also be a very good wager to go over 17.5 points. Texans defense on the road, outside of their dominating performance against the Cleveland Browns, has also been giving up 34 points per game if you take away that one. And if the bad Texans defense is packed with them on the road to Buffalo this week, you could also see Brian Hoyer being forced to throw the ball a little bit more. So a lot of game scripts, I think, lead to the over being a pretty good play in this one as well. Now, the final one, speaking of points being scored, is the New England Patriots playing host to the Philadelphia Eagles, who have given up 45 points in back-to-back weeks. And in Boston, the weather looks good, and there will be revenge on the minds of the New England Patriots here after getting beat last week for the first time. They will want to take out their frustrations this week, I think, on the Philadelphia Eagles. If Philly can just muster up 1 or 2 touchdowns in this game, which I think they'll definitely be able to do, even though their offense has been atrocious over the last few games, I think the over at 5.5 touchdowns could be a very, very good wager here at minus 120 as well. Like I said, if the Patriots have still not lost a game at home this season, they've been dominating on offense. I think easily they can put 4 or 5 touchdowns on the board by themselves. So all we need from Philly is 1 or 2 this week. Over at minus 120 looks like a good one there. So those are your team prop picks from Bet365. Make sure you check out my player props as well this week. But till then, for Sportsbook Review, I'm Jordan Sharp.